Hey everybody, give me a second to get the camera locked in. All right. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm gonna do a quick couple of knife videos. So I'm gonna do one for this one, and maybe I'll just say screw it and do them both in one. Nah, I'll do them separately. That way they show up differently in search engines. So I got another Boker. As you know, I've been on a traditional knife kick lately. I go through cycles and stuff and trying to get my hands on some more GECs. Got a couple of those. We'll compare the quality of the two here, but what I'm here to talk about is going to be the Boker. So I've had good luck with Bokers. I've got my Cattleman knife, which is a great knife, curly birch, N690 steel, made in Salmingen, Germany. Really nice, well-built, $220 knife. And then I got a little $46 Boker tree brand, maybe made in China. I don't have a problem with Chinese-made knives if they're made well. And this one is made very well, certainly better than the case knives that are typically costing 70 or 75 bucks. So at about a third, almost half the price, third cheaper, half the price, you're looking at a knife that's at least as good, if not better, than most case Stockmans and trappers. So I've got another Boker. And I've been looking for some, I like these a lot. I actually like these little GECs and stuff. I do prefer a locking blade just for safety's sake. So I was like, let me look at a couple of traditional style lockbacks. So I have that sort of more traditional old school look, but have the safety of a lockback. All right, so that is, rather than me tearing it apart, it's taped. So we're going to take our, there you go, nice and clean cut. Let's see what we've got. So this one, I want to say was only about 49 bucks on Amazon, and they sent the wrong color. Okay, interesting. I'm looking at mine, and I had ordered smooth red bone. That is not smooth red bone. That is white. That being said, it is kind of nice and classy-like, so I guess I'll keep it. I mean, that's nice looking. It's not the red bone that I wanted, though. I clearly had smooth red. Looking at my order on the other screen here, smooth red bone was what I'd ordered. Well, all right, well, as long as the quality's good. Open up is nice. Ooh, no real blade rock. That's nice, a little bit of flex. That's what I'm always worried about getting some of these traditional knives is that, you don't have an adjustable pivot, right? So it is what it is. And unless you've got the right tools to repeen it and then polish it and make sure that polish measures, matches that, it's hard to do it. I don't have the equipment to do that myself. So anyway, this one is D2 tool steel. So it's a decent, good, tough steel, good for EDC use. Edge feels good. We'll do a paper sharpness test in a minute. Only weighs around 2.7 or 2.8 ounces. We've got a blade that is 3 inches with a 2.5 inch cutting, and it looks like 6 5/8 overall. So on the small side, about the size of like an Elementum, but no rocking in the lock. Spring's fairly stiff, and I actually like that because sometimes if you're gripping it really hard, if it's a really soft spring, part of your hand, depending on where you grip it, could actually partially push that and cause it to unlock if you were really wrenching on it or doing something with it. Yeah, that's a really nice action. Now it is one hand opening, and you need kind of 2 hands to close it. There's no flicking or anything like that. I'm fine with this. It's a little bit, I like the fact that it doesn't have any rocking, so it's a little bit stiffer up here. It doesn't just kind of, I don't know, some people like it to almost like where you can start it and then flick it the rest of the way. But with a slip joint, if you're not on bearings or something, in order to get that, you're going to have a looser blade. And I'd rather have the tighter blade. So nice little drop point. Let me grab a slice of paper here. Sharpness test out of the box. Yeah. Yeah, very, very sharp. Will it do a push cut? Yeah. That's a nice edge. $46. Not a ton of branding. You do have that etched on the stainless steel blade. Well, it's D2, so it's semi-stainless, I guess. Boker does not have country of origin on it. I'm going to assume this is one of the ones that is made in China. At that price point, the ones that are made in Solingen, Germany, very proudly display Solingen. So even though it's the Tree brand, which the Tree brand is typically the German made, I would assume they would have it on there somewhere, and they just don't. I'm not seeing it anywhere in there. But other than getting the wrong color, this comes in a smooth red bone. They've got a genuine stag, which is a bit more expensive and thicker. I wanted something thin in the handle. They've got a dark blue bone. They've got a smooth gray bone, smooth red bone, the one I was supposed to get. They've also got yellow. They've got this one, which is white, and it's what sucks is that the white one is $10 less. So they charged me full price, but I got the wrong one. All right, well, I'll probably reach out to him about that only because, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Whatever, it's $10. Is it worth me going to the trouble to go after $10? But it sits in the hand nice. It's comfortable. The polish job is really good. I really can't even see the damn pins. They do a really good job of putting this together. The transitions, that looks like a gap there. It actually isn't. It's just, I don't know, the edge of the bone is black, but the pins are not proud. The shield is in there pretty good and straight, not proud at all. These pins aren't proud. You can just barely feel them. And again, the transitions, hitting it with my nail, it is just slick. You barely feel anything there. No hard edges. Everything is done really well. I like this 50 or 40, well, technically $40 knife. I paid $49 for it apparently, but oh well. The nail nick is decent. The action's not super snappy, but on a lockback, it doesn't need to be, right? On a slip joint, you want the strong spring because that's what's, if you are using the point and you are stabbing a little, you want a little bit of resistance so it doesn't just collapse on your fingers. And, you know, if you keep your knife sharp, you can do a lot of damage to your hand. You can sever the skin. I mean, you can cut yourself to the bone pretty easy. There's not much meat there, but you got nerves, you got tendons you can sever. You know, you need to be careful with slip joints on what you're doing. Great for cuts and that kind of stuff. But if you were stabbing or had to plunge it into something, you want to make sure you got it at the right angle and it doesn't buckle. Because when you've got all that force against something and all of a sudden it starts to close, man, you could be in a world of hurt. So this is down in size, down near like what their Stockman is. It's comparable to my GEC. It's got the TIDIOUTE. I don't know how to pronounce it, whatever. We're like in that same basic ballpark of size. So it's a nice little gentleman's pocket knife. I like it a lot. I like this one a lot because I can get my hands on it. It's a good big working blade. It's a little bit big. I like the Stockman here, but I wish it was a little bigger. I do like just a little bit of a meatier blade, a little bit bigger blade. The case does seem to have that 4 1/4 inch, which is the sweet spot, but I got to find one that I can actually play with because I'm not rolling the dice. You know, ordering online, I'll order Rough Riders. I got a Rough Rider. We're going to do a review of that next. Rough Rider Reserve, rather. And certainly if I was able to get a GEC online, and none of the Bokers I've had problems with in the past. No bad blade wobble. Everything's good. Everything's tight. Everything's machined right. Case is hit or miss, you know. So this is beautiful, other than getting the wrong color. But you know what? I don't have any in that color. And it does look very clean and elegant. I mean, the red looked good and the blue looked really good. And I do have kind of a penchant for red and then brass. So instead of red and brass, this is more of a white I mean, it might still be brass, but it's a much lighter color. Maybe it's got more nickel in it, which will make it a little bit more resistant to that. You know how brass gets that dull and you got to keep, you know, bring it back to a shine. It gets that old patina look. Some people don't mind it. I you know, depends. If it just darkens uniformly, it's one thing, but half the time it'll darken in the shape of like your fingerprint or something, and then it's kind of, you want to clean it. Maybe this stuff has a higher nickel content, might make it a little bit harder and a little more resistant to oxidation. But you got brass liners in there. That's a nice feeling little knife. I like that a lot. That will absolutely make it into my rotation. I'm really digging these kinds of knives lately. and the fact that it's just big enough to get a hand on and, you know, do some minor work and stuff. But you got that nice gentleman's aspect. It's nice and clean. It's beautiful. It's well made. Blade centering, right out of the box, man. It's off. I mean, when I say it's off a smidge, it's like, if you do it as a percentage, you know, 100% on one side, 100% on the other, 50-50, it's like a 52-48. I mean, it is right there. That's about as good as you get today on a knife, especially in this price point, under 50 bucks. Very, very nice. So I would say when you're ordering, be careful that you order the right color. And I'm sure just someone grabbed the wrong one off the shelf. It was in the wrong spot. What did the box say? The box says Boker Traditional Knife, Smooth Red Bone. So this was at the factory because that was all wrapped and sealed and taped. Somebody at the factory put the wrong knife. They just mislabeled the box. Probably not even Amazon's fault. So Fritz over in the factory in Germany or whatever they were packaging these up, just mislabeled it. I like it though. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to call them up and bust their balls over $8. Not worth it. It's a nice little knife. Going to keep it. Don't see any blade wrap. Well, you wouldn't because you don't have that hump in there. So I like it. It's a nice little knife. I think it's beautiful. I think alongside the other Bokers that I've got, I will say I like the nail nick on this one better. Maybe because because with a liner, with a slip joint, you want a really strong spring. So that means, you know, you have to overcome that spring. And so if the nail nick's not really good or you have really short nails, sometimes you have a hard time hooking it. Your nail wants to slip out or you don't have enough to grab it. And it takes a couple attempts like that to grab it. And it's actually almost breaking my thumbnail there. That's the problem with a stiff spring and an inadequate thumb nail nick. If it's nice and deep and at a good angle, you don't have to pinch it that hard. You just kind of hook it. Here, you got to really pinch in there. And then when it slips, it kind of tears the nail there a little bit. Not much of a problem here, although it's still pretty stiff. But on the lockback, because you're not relying on a spring, there's enough sticking out, you just pinch it. You're not even using the nail nick. So very nice. Nice stabby little point. Almost pricked my finger there. I like it a lot. So we did a sharpness test. We went over the basic specs. If you want a nice gentleman's knife and you don't mind it being made in China, when it's made this well, why would you? I know some people are like, oh, buy anything from China, whatever. We've had this argument 50 times. I don't like the Chinese government, but the Chinese people are fine. I don't like the Russian current government, but the people are fine. It's like that with a lot, you know, you don't like Kim Jong-un, but the average North Korean who's just a victim of their government and stuff, you know, I can't hold it against them. So if you're just one of those people that, well, you just hate everything China because Donald Trump said, you know, China's the man, whatever. You're probably not watching this channel. I've already pissed you off at some point anyway. But really nice grind, really nice blade, very well put together. That bone is nice. At first I was bummed that, oh, it's the wrong color, but shit, man, I'm keeping this. This is a nice knife either way, regardless of the color. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hit like, subscribe, and I'm going to put these all away, and we're going to start doing a video for the Rough Rider Reserve. Have a good one.